Hi, my name is Pau and welcome to my channel. So, today I have, as promised, the Speedpaint of Deku from My Hero Academia, and I already talked about my experience watching My Hero Academia, but I said in the bnha video that today's topic will be me not liking Deku, and actually me usually not liking anime main characters. And just to be clear, and from the start, I'm not saying that they are trash or that I hate them all or something like that. It's not that extreme. I do like some of them, and I think I just tolerate the rest of them. What I actually mean is that they are really my favorites, and it has nothing to do with the character design. I usually like that part. That is like a completely different topic. It's always something with the personalities, which I guess it makes sense. I was going to start by saying that I do understand why people like the characters that I don't, but that's a big lie because sometimes I just don't, which is the whole point of someone not liking something. But I respect it because my mother told me to, and because there are as many opinions in this world as different color shades. Personal taste is personal. But yeah, I do think that someone's favorite character tells you a lot about that person, or at least the reasons why they like or relate to that characters too. So I can see why some people like those characters based on their personalities and the personalities of the characters. Yeah, I think I can usually like the general character but dislike a specific characteristic about them, which happens rather often now that I think about it. For example, I like Zenitsu, but he also wants too much sometimes for me. And it's mostly characters that are really in your ear all day that I dislike. Although I must say I usually have the same preference in real life. Not that I hate energetic people, but I get mentally exhausted rather quickly because my social battery is quite short. I also get easily overstimulated in public with all the noises and the people moving, the lights. So also having my social battery drained ends up being like such a bad combo. So obviously when these characters are not only super energetic but also quite loud and over the top, it ends up being a little bit annoying. And I've tried to watch animes like Black Clover, although I find Astra extremely frustrating because the story was interesting, but I just stopped watching it because even at 2+ speed and like leaving the volume really low, it was not enough for me to not just hear Astra shooting every 5.5 seconds. And yeah, that's basically the type of character I cannot stand. There are cases where I just find it kind of funny, but again, that loudness gets easily on my nerves. So for example, I find Inosuke quite funny, but Zenitsu is either like truly annoying or like pretty entertaining. It just depends on the moment. But I think because they are not on screen all the time, it's way more manageable than, for example, Astra. But sometimes even I think sometimes even when Zenitsu is being really loud and shouting, it makes sense because he could die, and it's just logical to be scared, I guess. I will be scared too. I think I get scared quite easily. And another thing I usually find annoying is extremely bullshit characters because they get in so many unnecessary and dangerous situations that could have been easily avoided if just analyzed for more than 0.1 seconds. And I don't find them risking their lives like entertaining or thrilling at all, especially because those decisions I usually made are based on them having these extremely high morals and being extremely empathic and overcaring. Like, I kind of get the point of this specific personality trait in this kind of character, but have you no self-preservation sense? Because if I had someone like that in my life, I would get so mad at them for not caring about their own well-being. You will be worried about them all day long, every day. It makes no sense because yes, that person that you are saving has other people that care for them, and those people will be devastated if they lost them. But then what about the people that care about you? It's like, I find it really stupid. Sorry. And I also think that those extreme morals are not that realistic when it comes to the general public, because I think most people tend to be more selfish, which is not bad. I think that's good, because it's only natural to worry about yourself too and not only about other people. And yes, I know we're talking about fiction, and especially anime tends to over-exaggerate things in general, so I suppose it makes sense in that context. And I also get that it's normal for the characters to be that reckless because they are usually kids and teenagers, but I still don't like it, because even while being that age, I was not that careless. I have always been like really careful so I don't get into trouble or I don't get injured, and so far it has worked wonders. I have never gotten like seriously injured, but well, my sister has because she is really impulsive, which I find it quite funny now because we're older, but she usually hears me say por tonta or por pendeja every time she gets hurt, which basically translate to that's what you get for being stupid. So yeah, you don't fall from a tree if you don't climb a tree. I'm not saying to avoid everything to not get hurt, but there is just no need to do things first and then think about them. And anime characters directly avoid thinking about those things because half of the time someone has to tell them that something was dangerous for them to realize that they could have died. Well, they almost die quite often. I think they are always in the hospital, like half dead. And even after all that ranting, I wouldn't get to the extreme of saying that I hate Deku, although he does most of those things. I just don't like him. He's just there for me. He's not one of the characters that I straight up refuse to watch on anime, but neither is he a character that I care about. Like, his journey of getting powers and learning isn't interesting. Well, it's cool to see them all getting better and improving, although I do find some of the quirks some really stupid, if I'm being honest. And I thought of getting back into watching My Hero Academia, but people don't really recommend the latest seasons, at least not the people that is close to me that watch anime. So that is basically all for this video. I really like how his face turned out, but shading his suit was such a pain, as always. I hate shading, and I wish I didn't have to shade anymore, but it's not an option because I have like 50 more illustrations to finish. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget that everything is linked down below. Like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more content, and I will see you next time. Bye!